to Mountains for You. This is your host, Isla Celadon. I go by Sachi Ice Queen on a lot of social medias. And today we have a very, very interesting topic. You know, we're going to have our co-host with us, Claudia Fountain. And so I'm excited. Get ready to not only just get ready to listen to some interesting stories that will change your life and will also, be something for some kind of wisdom that you can take if you're going through a divorce, or if you're thinking of getting a divorce, or if you already had a divorce. And so I'm super, super excited about this particular topic. Me and Claudia, we're part of Learning Idiom, where we teach English and Spanish virtually. We do have a lot of online content. And so this is something that we started about a little bit over a year ago, and it just kind of flourished into our own publishing company here in the state of Arkansas. We're the first bilingual one. So if you want to publish your book in English or in Spanish, definitely reach out to us and we can get that done. And so, I've been in a relationship where I've been in two serious relationships, and the first one, I was with him for 12 years and married for 10. So, and I am now in my second serious relationship, and this is something that, I've personally can talk about because it's happened to me. And I also wanted to share my dad's story too, because my mom and my dad, they're divorced, but my dad remarried, and he's, still married with his second wife. And so, there is hope. A lot of people, they don't get divorced because they might think that there's not anybody out there for them afterwards. But I'm just here to tell you that there is. And so, without further ado, this is, Claudia Fountain. And Claudia, tell us, a little bit about your experience or what you're going to share tonight. You're my co-host because you're amazing and I look up to you a lot, and you have a lot of wisdom, and you've heard a lot of stories, and, that have not only shaped who I am, but I've learned from not only the stories that you tell, but of your story too.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much for that introduction. Hey guys, I'm excited to be here tonight. Thank you for your time. And so I am the co-host here with the fantastic and amazing Celadon, Isla Celadon, aka IC Sachi Queen, sorry. And so yes, listen guys, we are not getting any younger. So the beautiful thing about getting older is that you have the choice to be either single or be with a partner. Everybody, we were meant to have a partner, yes, but depending on what level of life you're in. So I grew up with both of my parents married for 55 years. I'm the youngest of 3 sisters and 2 brothers. So in raising us, our parents raised us Catholic. It's very it's not prevalent in our in our family to get a divorce. So that's why they say everything great is worth fighting for. So it's easier said than done. But I myself got a divorce 5 years ago after 23 years of marriage. And I learned a lot from that. That marriage made me very strong. And
I think any kind of relationship you can learn from. And I think that's something that, in the Latino culture, they always tell you, oh, just pray about it. Oh, or you don't want that thing,
No,
so,
yeah,
like,
but that's the thing.
sometimes,
A lot of times that I'm trying to, a lot of times, yeah, we know, we know it's the courage of actually leaving when things are getting uncomfortable. That's where the wisdom comes. If you don't leave, you're not growing. If you don't leave and 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 uh, and really detach yourself from any kind of toxic, whether it's even family members or any relationship, workplace, if you're working, you know, at a corporate office, whatever it is. So we all go through different levels of our lives. Early 20s, you're taking on the world. Uh, or you already know what you want. You got your career on standby. You get your college degree. You get your mediocre job. You go over to your 30s and you're like, man, I'd like to have somebody with me to experience all of this and not be so damn lonely, you know? And then, I mean, we're programmed in our heads to already, I don't know. But again, how do you undo all of this society's expectations of what marriage is? It's an unconventional anymore. Marriage is a partnership between two people where there is no jealousy. There is no loss of respect. I always tell my partner, it's nice to be loved, but honestly, I, like if you can remember that to respect, um, and of course that's earned, but you know, because then there comes after that when you someone ultimate, like what is respect? Your, you know, your pastor, um, your any adult that you grew up with that you admired, that kind of feeling of like, wow, I want to be like that person. That's the kind of you should ultimately continue to have with your partner, and it's very difficult to maintain. And how do you maintain it? You remember why and what attracted you to that person, right? So and then you start evolving and changing. See, a lot of people don't like change, and people think, oh, you're different. You're not the same as you were a year ago. Well, I hope not. You know, I hope I changed. So, but again, it's, you know, there goes your 30s and you find the person, and then um, you're pushed into and you feel like you have to be married by all your girlfriends are getting engaged, this, that. Or here comes your 40s, you have 2 kids, 3 kids, a dog, a white picket fence, a mortgage, and no husband. And then you have to start all over again. Um, to me, the hardest lesson of being divorced for me was to learning who I was, right? Like I totally forgot why God put me on this planet. And then I was really having a hard time because I'm like, I'm mediocre looking. I mean, you know, I'm okay looking. I started internalizing why I was single still after 2 years, you know. But then I figured, oh my gosh, God hasn't blessed me with the right ones. So I continued to just focus on myself, my community, my career, my businesses with you. I slept, you know, and our business together. And those things, it's true when you are 100% accurately of who you know who you are, then that's when you shine. You're like a beacon of light, and you attract, like the old light attracts the fireflies. Well, you start attracting certain energies, and this is, I can't wait to tell you how I met my partner a year ago. Um, this was actually on TikTok, and manifestation and energies putting out in the galaxy. I contest it works. He and I had never met ever, never spoke to each other, but we were admiring each other's TikToks. And it sounds so cliche and cheesy, but I don't care. It's the truth. So, can you believe it? I'm like, man, he's a coach. I want to be coached. I want to work out with this guy, you know, and do life with, right? I found out that his feelings of me were mutual. And then we started courting each other. And a year later, like, again, you know, uh, I really feel admired by this person and respected after a year. And I pray every day that it continues, right? And he's taught me patience because I'm a very fixer, quick person, like resolve issues. And he's more internal, like more doesn't want to cause waves. But again, relationships, it's all a perspective. It's all relative of how, what state in your life you're in and how desperate or lonely are you. That's when you start making the wrong choices. What do you think?
Yeah, I think whenever it comes to like any kind of relationship, like if you don't like intentionally put your, intentions out in the world, you're not going to get it because if you're just playing around, if you're just like don't want something serious, that's what you're going to get. If you don't take yourself seriously, if you don't take your actions seriously, like I used to be a life coach and I was very, very adamant about being intentional with your actions, with your words, with everything that you do. Because if you do something just to do it, then you're not doing it intentionally. You're just doing it to do it. And it becomes kind of this routine of, I want to have a better life, but am I making those choices to make that life? And so I think when it comes to dating, if you're just kind of putting yourself out there kind of once in a while, but you're not really don't know what you want exactly in a man, you don't even know who you are, and that was one of the things that I want to focus on what you said, because you said you had to find yourself again. Like I had to find myself too, because when I got, separated first, I left for a lot of reasons and I chose to get separated because I wanted to really know if this is what I wanted to continue in. And
let me squeeze something here real quick. I know you when you were married, and I knew you when you were divorced. I knew you when you were single, and I know you when you're in a relationship. And what was constant of you was that you never gave up. So huge applause to that. That takes courage. And once again, that a lot of people just give up, and then they forget of how powerful they are. And you were consistent with reminding yourself and putting God first in your life. And I think this is why, you're so successful in your business and your relationship and with God. So
yeah, for sure. Like to me, like whenever I chose, and I'm writing my fourth book, and I document that in there. It's called it's gonna be called Transcending La Familia. You can pre-order it. And I share my divorce story on there because I chose to listen to God instead of what society wanted me to do and what my family probably wanted before. But I a lot of people had mixed feelings, and so I chose to ignore the feelings, ignore the opinions, and just listen to what God spoke to me. I asked, there was a list of things like, and I can honestly and truly say that I worked so hard on my marriage, and that's why like I feel so clean on the other side, because I know that I did as much as I could to put an effort to make that marriage successful. And so, and we're, co-parenting right now. We started as friends, and we ended as friends, and that's something that we still have that friendship, which I'm thankful for, because a lot of couples that have kids, they end up hating each other, and I'm glad that didn't happen to us. But this is something that, like, I literally prayed and prayed and waited for those 2 years that I was separated to really know if this was something that first I wanted, and then second what God wanted for me, because sometimes we choose our own life, but it's not always what God wants for us. And so I honestly, if it was up to me, I probably would have stayed a lot longer, because I loved him. Like that was somebody that, I made not only a promise to him, but I made a promise to God. But it didn't take until God to show me, like, no, I have something better for you. Like he literally spoke to me and told me that we were unequally yoked. And when I heard those words, it kind of shook me, and I was like, okay. And so I chose to listen God over what I wanted, because at the time, I still felt very attached to him. And so I was like, okay, well, if this is what you want and this is your will, then I need you to take away those feelings. I need you to take away, detach me from that. They call them soul ties or whatever. And so I prayed for that, and he did it. And that was the last thing that I asked for before I even filed for divorce. And he did it. And so that's why I was like, okay, well, this is what you want. So I did it, and I've just been so happy ever since. And now I'm with this new person that's a completely different person. And I'm very, very, everyone's always like, oh, I just want you to be happy. And I'm glad, and I'm just like, you know what? I was already happy, but he definitely makes me happier. And I think that's the key in any kind of relationship, after a divorce, after a relationship, after anything. Like, you make yourself happy. You choose to make yourself happy. And that's the people around you either add or, you can choose to not have them in your life. You are the 5 people you are around. Like, choose those 5 people very, very wisely. And, he was one of the people that, like, I had a very specific list, as Claudia. Like, I was like, I was
Right.
like, I had a very specific list, and I did not shy away from my list because I know my worth. I know what I want. And I didn't know if, I was going to find that or not, but I at least put my intentions out there to definitely try. And so, but yeah, but Claudia, yeah, tell us a little bit about you and John. Like, Johnny, how did you know that it was him?
The way that he spoke to his students, he's a student athlete coach at a local college here. The fire in his eyes, the sincerity, the most humble human you will ever meet. Tender, kind, patient, raised by a very godly woman, his auntie. He's writing his book as well very soon. His mother and his mother was a prostitute, dad was a drug dealer. Johnny was 4 weeks old, soaked in a soaked diaper, and his auntie just took him and never looked back. She just took him away from that atmosphere, from that environment. Her own children are now doctors and pediatricians, and they're just super brilliant, super smart. And it's a rough town, but nobody messes with them. Gunshots while he and I are courting each other in the car. He's like in his vehicle 2.5 hours away from me, and we're talking on the phone, and he's in his vehicle, and all I hear is gunshots. And I'm like, I can't deal with this anymore. He's like, what do you mean? I said, how do you live like that? Like, how do you live like that, knowing that anytime now your life can be taken? He's like, to me, it's part of growing up in this kind of, so a lot of my students here, they're raising each other. And he already had lost 2 of his students through some senseless violence. One got shot in the head, and the other one got shot in the back over Jordans, and the other one was $60, something like that. So when it's the norm, and we know it's not the norm, it shouldn't be, no matter where you live. Everyone should live in a dignified manner. But of course, and that's in the perfect world, but there's no such thing. So I just knew that how vulnerable he was after 2 years of divorce himself and starting from scratch. Why would a beautiful woman like yourself, Latin goddess, he'd call me, want to be with me? I have nothing. And I said, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? You are the wealthiest man I've ever met, because you give without expectations. And that to me is a testament of the kind of man I want to be with. God will provide the rest. So yeah, he's just it's a mutual admiration and respect for one another that continues, and then we work out our hurt, because sometimes It doesn't matter how old or young you are. If you're hurt, you will bleed a little bit on those that you love, no matter what.
Because it's like that saying, hurt people hurt people.
Yes, I know it's so cliche. I didn't want to say it, but it's so true. But this man is unlike any other person that I've ever met. I nobody goes and says, I want this narcissistic man in my life. Nobody wants that. Narcissism is a disease. It's masqueraded as a successful, but it's not. It's really the devil. And I say that with all what do I say? My experience, I guess, with all my experience that I've had for 20 years, living and being married to one. So to me, it's just that, just the way that he looks at me, the way that he treats me and my family and my friends, just very respectful. He doesn't, totally the opposite of me. He's more of a, what do you call it? Introvert, and I'm the extrovert. So opposites do attract. But just how he talks about other people, just the way that he lifts other people, they're not even in the room and he's talking to them like they're godly. Like his own auntie, the way that he talks about her and his child and even his ex-wife. I never heard him badmouth his ex-wife ever. So there's something about a boy and a man. And that's the difference, I think, just the maturity aspect of it. But I just knew that he was worthy of and how dare I say it like that? But if you read my book, Si Se Puede, on Amazon, Claudia Fountain, yours truly, right here, you will find it in there, what I had to go through. So don't judge or be envious. I sacrificed and I went through hell like most of us do when we are married to a narcissist, and you're physically and mentally abused just about every other day. So it's it's something that I don't wish upon, not even, and I don't have any enemies, thank God. But I don't. It's just not humanly. Like no one should live like that, no matter what. And it took a long time for me to finally say, I saved my money and I said, I'm just leaving 2016, 17. Around this time of Christmas, I said, I was looking around my home, looking at my kitchen and looking at my children eating ham and turkey. And I said to myself in my head, wow, this is going to be my last Christmas with my family, So in my book, I say, and I'm going to reference my book here, Si Se Puede, in order to save us, I had to leave us, right? And just walking on faith. And here I am 5 years later, continuing doing what I love, which is helping my community and hopefully inspiring some people along the way. And I'm still learning as well. I'm proud to say that I'm 50 years old. I'm halfway there, and I tolerate zero from anyone or anything. I just know what I want. And I just, of course, I pray every morning and every night that I do walk like God and talk like God and be godly like, because it's not really about us. We're just such a speck, a small little part of this universe. But if I can leave it a little bit happier, I've lived my life to the fullest. But yeah, relationships are just not for everybody. I have an auntie who never got married, never had children. So
yeah, my mom was the same way. She never married after 23 years of being married.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely, loving yourself, or how to find love after a divorce. Some people don't find love again with another person, they find themselves and choose to not find that other
right.
together, and they're happy. They're like extremely happy by themselves.
Right. You have the freedom to within the rules, of course. You have the freedom to explore and make sure that you are being courted by someone who's single and not married. You know, that's another thing that I was, when I was single, approached by very married men, very married men. Let's just say that. And I have an engagement ring that my ex gave me, and I really love the ring. It's just so pretty. So I wear it when I was single, and people would still approach. It's a challenge, I guess, to them. It's their ego, I guess. But
so I was told, okay, so this is what I was told by men, okay, by a guy. He's like, okay, well, when they're engaged or when they're married, you only have competition with one man. But if they're single, you have competition with everyone.
that's a fact, yes.
And so I was like, whoa, I did not think of it like that.
Yes, I love it. And remember, girls, women, young women, and men, young men, it's over 8 billion people in this world. So you'll just know. You'll just know.
I know it's such a cliche thing to say,
know.
you know, when you know, you know, but I think look at it until now, you know, like my boyfriend, you know, we're dating right now and he's already asked me to he hasn't proposed, but he's, you know, we're probably, I mean, not probably, we're probably gonna get married soon, you know, but
Look at you.
he's like, within like the first 2 months of me talking to you, I already knew I wanted to marry you. And I'm like, how? Like, to me, I did not.
Do you believe in love
like
at first sight? I mean, it kind of happened to me. Yeah.
It kind of happened to me too. Like, literally the first day that we physically saw each other, I was like, this is a different person. Like, you know, and that, I don't know. I think now, honestly, and I tell him this, I'm like, I don't feel like I ever fell in love with my ex-husband. I think I just grew to love him. And so, because we were friends for a year. And
it's the opposite sometimes with other people. They fall in love and then they grow to love them even more. So you're unique. It's a unique situation.
Yeah, like whenever I was dating my ex-husband, like we were friends for a whole year, and yeah, I mean, he was a really good friend and he's still a good friend, but like I never like automatically had that attraction of, oh, I want something more. Until he, you know, he was courting me and was like, and I was like, well, he's a good guy, you know, and and so like I said, I grew to love him, but like now my boyfriend, like I understand now the phrase of falling in love, because I really did, like there was just everything that it's a complete different feeling. Like I automatically, whenever I first met him in person, like I knew I didn't want him just as a friend.
Like what specifically are the little things? Because we always say that it's the little things. You know what I mean?
So I don't know. Okay, so I had a very specific list. Like they had to know Spanish, and like I wanted someone who was emotionally aware, you know, because of my situation. You know, my ex-husband, I don't think he was a narcissist. I don't think he is, but he had definitely the narcissistic traits. And so, but like I just wanted someone emotionally aware that would be vulnerable with me, because I never got that with my ex, and we were married for like 10 years, and I can count on my hand how many times he ever like let his guard down and actually shared something intimate with me, that like some kind of like him being vulnerable with me. And if I can count on my hand how many times.
Do you ever think that maybe he just didn't have the right tools or the right upbringing, the right environment to have the tools to articulate those feelings?
I think so. I think, you know, in the Latino culture, like men are like they're tell them don't feel, you know, you be macho, you know, like don't it's cry. Just a very common thing. Yeah, don't cry. And so like it's very common for Latino men to grow up and not really understand feelings, or, you know, do anything to do with feelings, because we have an autistic son. And so when it came to like him and him understanding and validating my son's feelings, he didn't like for me to do that. He wouldn't even allow me to validate my own feelings. And so it was very, very hard. And that was one of the things that I, you know, love about my boyfriend, is that he's very, very emotionally aware. And one of the main reasons why we started talking a lot was because he has autism too. He's an autistic adult. He's not medicated anymore, and he doesn't have to be, constantly watched or anything, because, he had enough therapy and enough support to be a successful person in society. And so to me, to be able to be with someone that not only understands my son, but understands that aspect of being emotionally aware. I think that was one of the things that I, valued so much about him. And, he's kind of like you, and, like what you said about Johnny, that, he doesn't have a lot, he didn't come from a wealthy family, and I had a lot of people that like I'm in the real estate world, so I'm sure you can, kind like I met a lot of suitors, that were pretty well off, and like, but I just didn't connect with them in that way. And, that was one thing that I did connect with him, like not only spiritually, but emotionally, like we could just got each other. And I think that that's really, really important. And spirituality to me was one of the main reasons why, because like we met on a Christian dating app.
There you go.
And so for anybody out there that is on a dating app and they think they're giving up, no, I mean, they work if you make them work, and I think that's how it is with any relationship. Like nobody's perfect, no relationship is perfect, but if you put in the effort and they're putting in the effort, it's going to be successful. And, that's something that, I always talk about. And that's what, I say in the book that I'm writing, that if you don't find your iron, like in the Bible, it says that iron sharpens iron. And so if that person is not your iron, they're just going to cut you. And my ex-husband, he was not my iron, because at the end of it, he was not sharpening me. He was just cutting me. And so that was something that I had to heal from and kind of learn from. And, but find your iron out there, because they are, if you really want that, God says, in the Bible, it says that he grants you the desires of your heart. If that's something in your heart, then definitely pray about it. Like I prayed for, I didn't expect it to be this soon, but I prayed, I had been praying for the whole 2 years, for the man that God wanted in my life. Because when I got separated, I was like, okay, well, you either, get this man that I love, that was my ex-husband, right, or, so I was praying for the whole 2 years for even, my ex-husband to not necessarily change, but just be a different type of a person. Because, there's certain things that I didn't see that I needed, that he was not supplying. And so, I prayed about it, and I was like, okay, well, if he's not going to be that person for me, then, put that person that needs to be in my life in my way. And so, but yeah, we met on a Christian dating app, and, he's very, very, whenever we talk about God and everything, like it's, that's something that's really important for me. And so I definitely love that about him, is that he's not afraid to have those conversations. And so, yeah, that's definitely, there's a lot of reasons. There was a lot of reasons why I knew that it was him. But yeah, it's a good thing to really get to know a person. And, I've known him for about 7 or 8 months already. And you never really finish getting to know someone, I think.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I think in any relationship, have those date nights, have those nights where it's just you two and you have those deep conversations, regardless of where you are in your relationship, still have those moments of no phones and no
Intimacy.
TV. Yeah. Look at them in the eyes, like they say, if you're talking about, or if you're talking to the person that you love, your eyes are dilated.
Right.
And so, have those, that's a form of connecting. And I think, that's something that there's so many ways, in the Christian world, like that, they don't really teach about intimacy, I think, in Christianity. Like they kind of, brush it under the rug. And it's kind of the same way in the Latino culture too. Like I never got the sex talk growing up. And so, like, they don't really teach you what intimacy is. And like, they don't really tell you.
Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. Are you kidding? Yes, I broke that chain with my children, my 23 and 22-year-old. At 7, 8 years old, I told them about the birds and the bees. Yes. But yes, thank you so much. I mean, that is such a beautiful story. And that he's emotionally available, that he's emotionally intelligent. Like he's such a the man's supposed to be that protector, you know what I mean? Like, don't mess with my family type of thing, but is also very compassionate with strangers and others too. So that's a it's a crown on your head, not a thorn on your side type of thing, you know. But remember when you and I were single, like 2.5 years ago, and we created that Arkansas Singles?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, so for anybody that's listening, Learning Idiom does have a page that we manage, and it's called Arkansas Singles.
Yeah.
And we created it because Claudia had an idea to do like speed dating or something like that,
Yeah.
And so I thought it was a really cool idea, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so I created the Facebook group. There's literally like over 7,000 people in this group, y'all. Yeah. Like,
we didn't want them to. We wanted to kind of do like a study in the state of Arkansas of really how many happy single people were out there, because we were relatively content with our singleness. I at least for my part, I can say I was really feeling myself. I was really happy. And then she and I would go out and have fun, go to the clubs, and we go dancing, and then we, start just, creating with each other, like, and we're like, let's do this speed dating thing, and chemistry should just hit. You just know you have that warm feeling in your heart and in your body, and the flutters from the tip of your toes to the crown on your head. You just feel that person. That's called chemistry. So we created that, and then we've got like she says, 7,000 people out there, and there's so many people that are just so
they're
lonely.
looking for someone.
They're lonely.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
looking for
And it's
someone.
the holidays.
Yeah.
It's like the holidays, and so we want to reach out to anyone who's out there. Check us out on Arkansas Singles too. I mean, we're not experts, but I can tell you this, that when you are out in public, whether you're buying groceries or you're buying a book at a bookstore, you're at church, and you carry yourself in a way that you know who you are, that's when you attract the other person. That's when you attract your significant other. You never know when God's going to bless you with the right woman or the right man. So
that's right.
No, thank you for sharing your story. You seem super happy. You're glowing. You lost so much weight because we're doing a modeling show this month.
Oh, that's right. Shout
Yes.
out to Phoenicia, David.
Hey, woo-woo. Bless gals.
Yeah. She's going to be publishing her story really soon, so I'm excited for her.
Yes, we have so many projects in the future. 2023, we're coming for you. We're so excited, empowering other men and women, just human beings wanting to be better and leave a legacy, right?
Oh yeah, tomorrow I have this interview, leading ladies leaving legacies.
Oh, love it.
And it's gonna be on Roku. It's gonna be on Amazon Fire Stick or something like that, and it's gonna be on Hulu. It's gonna be on 137 channels.
Oh my god!
So I'm super excited.
I'm excited for you. What's the topic?
I'm not sure. I think I'm just gonna share like my businesses and me, about me, basically. So
gotcha.
I'm excited. But throughout this whole room or episode, I've been sharing different links in this Clubhouse room, and so if you want to connect with us, the easiest way to do that is to go to our website and or just message us on one of our social medias. We both are part of Learning Idiom, and Authors Are Us, and so we both just like you said, want to make the world a little bit kinder, a little bit better, and a little bit safer. And I think, definitely wanted to shout out Gigi Savage. She's endorsed by Les Brown. We are going to have a safety type of workshop coming up, where we're gonna teach people how to like gun safety. And so I'm super, super excited for that. And because I'm part of the World Women's Conferences and Awards chapter, and so we're going to be doing that. And so I'm super, super excited for all of the events that we have coming up. And definitely check us out on, Amazon. We're published authors, and we just like serving our community and interpreting for Spanish speakers and helping them in their progress. And so definitely check us out, and, definitely just be aware that God has you where you are for a reason. He has you in that situation for a reason. And the best way for you to know what that reason is to ask him. And so I just want to definitely end with, that, grow that communication between you and God. A lot of people talk about church, talk about religion, talk about all these things, but I believe in relationship. I don't believe in religion. I'm Jewish, and I do know a lot of, Jewish customs and all of that. I don't practice Judaism, but the closest thing that you can classify me if I believed in religion would be Christianity, but I believe in relationship more than religion. And so just have a relationship with God. I read the Bible, and I'm almost done, and I'm almost done with reading the entire Bible. There's this app called it's called YouVersion, and they have a plan that where you can listen or read the whole Bible in a year. And so I'm super excited to finish it because it'll be the first time. I'm an ordained minister, so if you want to get married, I can marry you.
Yes.
I'm super excited. That was something I had 2 goals for this year, and I completed both of them. And that was to officially become a realtor, because I was a consultant for over a year, and become an ordained minister. And I got both of those done. And so I'm just excited for next year because it's going to be a great year.
She sells you the home and blesses you and marries you in your new home. I love it.
Yes, ma'am. I can do all 3 of those things.
I love it. Such a Renaissance woman. This is why I love her. This is why God brought me to her. There is really a mutual respect and admiration. She and I are just trying to build a platform to where it's safe, and it is a creative platform where everybody can express themselves how they like, and just trying to hopefully empower and level other people and show them the do's and don'ts of entrepreneurship from every aspect, from real estate agency to worship, to relationships, to money, to investments, everything under the sun, because we're all multifaceted. We all have that capability. I have 6 or 7 different streams of income. I'm very proud of my accomplishments as well. This past year, I've gotten some more. My priority right now is mental wellness, especially in the Latino community, and I get to use my gifts that God's given me as a certified interpreter, medical interpreter for the state, where I can help other counselors communicate efficiently and accurately with their patients, and especially of being Latin descent, Hispanic descent. And it's a humbling experience, and that I feel like in my element. I feel like that's why God put me on this planet, to be the conduit of my community, and mental wellness is a priority to most of us. And I see that more and more resources are finally reaching out to the unseen community. So that's exciting to me. And again, if you want to reach out to us, check us out on Learning Idiom, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Linktree. Make an appointment, make a consultation. Let's just chat. We want to invite each and every one of you to get excited about life again. Just have that pep in your step, and just don't listen to the noise. Have a laser focus on your goals and dreams, And again, 2023 is around the corner. So let's make it a better one than this year.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And for anybody that's out there and needs to connect with us, like she said, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn as well. So definitely reach out to us. And the best way to connect with us is literally messaging us, okay? And so just message us, communicate with us. We'd love to be of assistance to you in any way. I'm a realtor for the state of Arkansas, but I'm licensed here in Arkansas. But even if you don't live in Arkansas, I can refer you to a qualified agent in your area. And, like she said, we do investments too. Like, I love teaching people how to have their money work for them instead of them work for their money. And so I'd love to definitely be able to get you started. And, just to FYI, 90% of millionaires become millionaires through real estate, and I can help you be one of those millionaires. So definitely reach out to me. I'm part of Eagle Rock Realty and Property Management, and so I'd love to be able to serve your real estate needs. And so yeah, definitely reach out to us. And thank you so much for listening and being part of our community, our bilingual community. And, take care. God bless. Peace be with you. And always, always remember you're loved, you're cherished, and there is a purpose for your life. So bye, everyone.
Bye.